how do I say no in situations? This one is, I feel like, really hard. What is better, a tampon, pad, or a diva cup? Ooh, this is a good one. How do I tell my crush I like him? I feel like it was almost like this unknown thing that I didn't even tell Chase that I liked him. No, I don't remember. I need to go through my journal and read those. Hey guys, welcome to KennaDee Kay. Today, I'm so excited. We are going to be doing a big sis talk slash BFF talk. I did a video like this a little bit ago and I found a lot of positive feedback from it. And so I thought I'd do another one, and I asked you guys different questions that you are either afraid to ask your mom or big sister, or just some different advice tips about being a girl. And yeah, so I'm really excited. Let's get going. But before we do that, make sure that you subscribe down below, hit that notification bell, follow me on all my social media, and give this video a big thumbs up. All right guys, let's get going. So, okay, the first question is what to do when you don't have a tampon and you start your period at school. So, I thought this was really good because I had this experience a few times where I wasn't prepared, and maybe you don't have your emergency kit, or maybe there's not really any like tools in the bathroom to like help with that. So one thing that I did that I really liked is I had a code with all of my girlfriends. So at the point, we had already told each other that we had started our periods, and here's Kobe. So all my friends, we already knew that we started each other's periods, and some of us didn't, but they already had stuff prepared. And so we had come together and we made a code word that if we asked for this, then that means we needed a tampon or like a pad. Our code word at the time was nail polish. So what I would do is, like, if I ever had something like, if I needed a tampon or if I needed a pad and I didn't have anything, I would go to one of my friends in like either my class, usually it was just in my class, and I would ask them, so do you have any nail polish? They'd be like, oh yes. And so then they would hurry and like, we'd like either go ask teacher if we can go to the bathroom together, or they would hurry and give it to me in my pocket so like no one could see, and then I go to the bathroom and get that done. So that was one thing, is that our recommendation that I would do is make a code word with some of your girlfriends, and so that you can ask it anywhere in public, so that you don't have to like ask them and feel like it's super awkward. You can just be like, hey, do you have any nail polish? And then they'll be like, oh yeah, I do, like let me help you out. And then you guys can go together somewhere. So I loved that with the code word. Second, if you don't really want to do that, maybe you don't feel comfortable with that, or maybe some of your friends haven't started their periods yet, you can always ask a teacher. I remember I did that once, and I just went to my teacher that was like, she was a girl, and I felt like I trusted her a lot, and I had a good personal relationship with her. I felt like better than most of my other teachers, and she would always have some, so that was always nice too. So you could always go to your teacher for that. And also, if like you're ever scared of that, just make sure you have an emergency kit so that you can always have a tampon in there. But if you never do, just do those two things, and I feel like they would totally help. So that is question 1. Question 2 says, what is better, a tampon, pad, or a diva cup? So a tampon, if you know, is like kind of a stick in a way, and then there's a pad, which is kind of like you just wear it over your underwear, or there's a diva cup where it's like a cup that you can use. And for me personally, I don't love pads anymore, but I feel like those are perfect at the, like if you're just starting your period, that's the best thing, is like starting getting used to it. I would definitely recommend a pad. But if you want to like try something else, I really like tampons, and I really like, I use Diva Cup right now and I like it a lot. And so that might be too much information, but I really like that. There's like tons of different options to it. It's not just like a certain type. I like all of them. I think right now I really like the Diva Cup, but I feel like it's kind of just preference of the person and what they feel most comfortable with. So it's really up to you. You should try them on to see what you like the best. The next question is, how do I tell my friends I started my period? So first of all, I would say, I know that it gets kind of scary. Periods are kind of scary at first, and it's kind of embarrassing, and I totally understand because I was that same way. But I want you guys all to know as well that periods are so normal. Like every girl almost has the period, and it's just very normal. It's nothing to like be super embarrassed about, because it's just, that's how our bodies are. And so don't feel like super like stressed that you are like the only one, if that makes sense, because you're definitely not. All of us have gone through it. So I would recommend, for when you're telling your friends, or maybe if you're telling your mom, Kobe, my puppy is so sassy right now. I I'd recommend if you're... So with that being said, I would recommend when it comes to talking to your friends or your family about starting your period, I would just do it in like a private setting where you feel comfortable to tell them that you started your period, and just be like, when I told my mom, I just whispered in her ear and said, Mom, I started my period. She like was super happy for me, and it was just normal. And if you want to tell your friends, I would say, I don't really remember exactly how I told all my friends, but I feel like I just put it as in like a private situation where I felt comfortable with all my girlfriends, and I just said, guys, I started my period. And I think it was kind of just like a fun thing because some of my girlfriends had already started and some of them were waiting to get their period. And so it wasn't super stressful, and it was nice because like the first question I answered, they also had stuff. So I knew that if anything happened or if I needed like a pad or something like that, I could always go to that friend. I would highly recommend telling your friends just because it is nice to have that security that they have your back and you have their back, but it's definitely up to you and what you feel comfortable with. But yeah, so that's my advice for that. And now question 4 says, can I go swimming on my period? This kind of depends on what item you use for your period. If you use a pad, I've never tried that, but I don't think that it would really work just because I feel like the pad would just kind of soak up all the water and it would be really hard to swim. Maybe you could wear shorts with it and you'd feel like comfortable, and that would probably be fine. I have personally used a tampon and a diva cup to go swimming, and it's totally fine and it works great. So you definitely can go when you're on your period. It just kind of depends on what tool you use. I've never tried a pad, but it could be possible. Comment down below if you have, or if you have any tips for that. But yeah, it's definitely possible, and just do whatever you feel comfortable with. Next question says, how to get rid of cramps? So for cramps, I literally had cramps this morning, so I can just tell you. Some things that I do to help get rid of cramps is, first, I often will take some medication. Usually ibuprofen helps a lot. If I don't really want to take medicine, often I will just sit on my bed or on my couch and I will get a heating pad, and I like to put that on my stomach, and I just kind of curl up in a little ball and just kind of like rest. Usually that will help me feel better. Another thing that you could do is put a pillow on your stomach. That's also really nice. Like I said, you can take medicine. Sometimes exercising will help. I feel like that's like the last thing I want to do when I'm actually having cramps. So like when I know that I'm about to like be on the time of my month and I'm about to like start getting crampy, I make sure that I continue to exercise because I feel like that helps me to not get as many cramps. Also, another thing that I always get cramps with, I feel like, and maybe this is just me, but whenever I eat sugar a lot, if I eat a lot of sugar, because I'm always craving it right before I start my period, I really want a lot of chocolate and I want things like that. So when I do let myself eat those chocolate and stuff, sometimes I'll get cramps because I'm eating so much sugar. And so that's another thing that I found, that if I kind of limit myself from all the sugar, I don't have as bad of cramps. So those are some things that help me. If you also have other tips, please comment down below because I will need them too. Yeah, we all can help each other because this is like sister talk. I love it, best friend talk. And so yeah, those are some things I use. But like I said, if you have any other tips, comment down below. Next, how do you feel good in your own skin? This one is, I feel like, really hard because I feel like there's days where I'm like feeling so confident and I feel so good about myself, and then there's other days where I just kind of feel so sad and like I feel like I need to be better and work harder, just not feel so confident in myself. And so one thing that I found that really helps me to have more confidence in myself is if I move my body for 30 minutes. It doesn't matter if I go on a walk or if I like run or go work out or go do weights or things like that. As long as I move my body for 30 minutes, I always feel so much better about myself because I feel like I am taking care of myself. And so that's one thing that I really, really like, and it always makes me feel more confident. And then another thing that helps me feel confident about myself, especially if I'm feeling sad, I will go get ready because sometimes I'll just be like sad and I just am in my pajamas still. And I don't know what it is, but just going and getting ready makes me feel so much better about myself. And it helps me to be more productive throughout my days because I'm like, okay, I already got ready, so now I'm gonna go do this and I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna clean this and I'm gonna go to the grocery store or whatever else. And so that really helps me as well. Another thing, this is my third one, I'll just do 3. One thing else that helps me a lot is a journal. So whenever I journal, I often will list things that I am grateful for, and that also helps me to feel so much more confident about myself myself and my life and just like all the blessings that I've been given. And it helps me to also look back at my journal and be like, wow, like I had all these blessings. I am not some lazy little, well, sometimes I'm lazy, but I don't feel like all that the confidence will come back to me because I'm like, oh yeah, like I did do this really good thing, and or I'm really grateful that this happened, or things like that. And so going back through my journal is like one of the best things as well that helps me to feel confident about myself. Actually, I'm gonna do 4 more things because I'm gonna do 4 things, and the fourth thing that always helps me feel more confident, also when I'm feeling really sad, if I'm sad or if I'm disappointed, I don't really want anyone else to know, if that makes sense, because I like don't want to bug people or things like that. I always like to pray, and praying always makes me feel better. I feel like a lot of times when I pray, I like can just get everything off my chest, and I can just talk to my Heavenly Father and let him know what's going on in my life. And once I feel like everything's off my chest, I feel so much more happy and confident, and I feel like I can just like get on with the rest of my day. And I just kind of feel like too, like Heavenly Father knows me, and he always like, he gives me that like that spirit of peace and joy and letting me know that he loves me. And so that's another thing that I always do when I don't feel confident, is I will do that, and it helps me so much to feel more confident about myself. And or I'll go and cuddle Chase, and that also makes me feel happy and good in my own skin. But yeah, so those are like a few things that I like to do to make me feel more confident about myself or help me feel good in my own skin. Basically with any of these questions, if you have any other tips, like definitely comment them down below, because we're all together, we're all sisters, we're all BFFs. We need to like all help each other out, and in the end it just brings us all closer together, and I love that. And so definitely comment down if you have any other like things that make you feel better about yourself and confident. Okay, so the next question says, this is a good one. How do I tell my crush I like him? I feel like it just depends on the situation, because sometimes you don't want to be like randomly like sitting next to him and there's a bunch of people around and be like, I like you. Like you can't do that, because I might kind of scare him and it might kind of scare you. One thing that I would say for how to tell your crush you like him is just kind of like find a time where you feel like it's appropriate and like you feel like it's just you two alone, and so you're not like super stressed, or you don't feel like there's peer pressure. You can tell them either face to face, which I would like, or even sometimes I remember ask a boy, I'm like, who do you like? And then they would be like, oh, I don't want to tell you. And then they'd be like, well, I'll tell you if you tell me. And then they would always be like, I like you. And then you're like, oh, I like you too. Like I did that a little bit when I was younger. So you could do that if you wanted, but I think probably the best thing to tell someone you like them is even like either finding a time where it's like really where it's just you two alone. How Chase and I told each other we liked each other, or how we liked each other, was basically we could kind of like tell you just because we would like to hang out with each other a lot, and like we'd always be by each other. We like, it was through our actions at first that we kind of told each other that we liked each other, if that makes sense. Because we would like sit by each other on the couch, and then we would just end up talking for a long time, just little things like that. And then I feel like it was almost like this unknown thing that I didn't even tell Chase that I liked him. No, I don't remember. I need to go through my journal and read those, because I remember I like wrote in my journal, I'm like, oh, I like Chase, I don't know how to tell him. But I think in the end we just kind of like, I kind of knew that he liked me and that he knew I liked him, and so finally we were just both kind of like, I like you. So yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of an awkward person though too, so I might not be the best person to ask for this. So if you have a good way to tell a boy that you like him, comment down below, because I'm trying to think, I'm like, I don't even remember how I did it. But anyway, okay, let's just go on to the next question. That's a really good question though. How do I tell my mom I want to start wearing makeup? This is a good one too. For me, I would just be very mature about it, and I would go up to my mom and just be like, hey mom, like I really want to start wearing makeup because I want like this, and this, and I would give her some reasons why I wanted to. As if you're mature about it, your mom will help to see that you are kind of in that stage where like, okay, maybe she is in that age where she can wear makeup, and you guys can figure out together like kind of like how much you want to wear, or like what's the best for both of you, and kind of what you think that would be best. I remember talking to my mom about figuring out if I wanted to wear makeup or not. I actually was the opposite. I did not want to wear makeup, and my mom's like, you should wear some mascara, like it'd be kind of fun. And I remember I was so nervous about it because I felt like a lot of people would be like, oh, you're wearing makeup. And I didn't want that. I was like kind of scared, but I remember I like finally was like, okay, like, and I told my mom, I was like, I don't really want to wear makeup. My mom was like, that's fine, like, you do what you want to do. But I like, she's like, but if you want to, it's there. Then later on when I was like, okay, I actually feel like I'm ready to start wearing makeup, then I told my mom and she was like, okay, let's do it. And she like taught me how to do it, taught me how to do mascara. I also like would sometimes look on like YouTube or like other little places to like figure out how to like do my makeup like cute, or like different ways that I wanted to try it. And that was always kind of fun too. But for the question of just like asking your mom, I would definitely just be mature about it. If she says no, but maybe there's like a reason, maybe she doesn't feel like you're ready yet, maybe you can try to figure out some compromising and figure out, okay, like what can I do to like help me start preparing to wear makeup, and so that you can show your mom that you are mature and that you are ready. Kobe just woke up from a dream. He's like super sleepy, but he keeps coughing. Hi, Bear. Go to sleep, okay? Okay, so the next question is, how do you find cute clothes when you don't have a lot of money? This can be so hard, especially when like there's all these trends and I feel like everything is just so expensive, and I feel like sometimes it's hard to find some cute clothes that are not like 50 to 100 bucks. What I do is I try to go to, these are some stores that I like to shop at where I feel like they don't break your bank, but they're also like, there's some cute styles in there. And I really like H&M. I feel like that one's pretty, sometimes it's going up a little bit, but overall that one's pretty cheap. I like to go to Forever 21. Sometimes their style is not, it doesn't match me as much, but there's some items that I can find, like there's some jeans or things like that. I also really like going to Shein. I think it's Shein or Shein, whatever. I think I call it Shein. Anyway, I like to go there because I feel like they also have a lot of options that are really cheap, which is nice, and I kind of still feel cute. I definitely check the reviews. Make sure you check the reviews because sometimes they don't have like the best of stuff. If you check the reviews and you feel like it's good quality or they have a lot of good reviews about it, I would definitely go there as well, just because they are really cheap and that's super nice to help you feel cute, because you don't need to be wearing expensive clothes to feel cute, because you can dress cute in whatever you have, so you don't even need to go shopping. But if you do want to get a few different items, those are places that I like to go that are cheaper, and I feel like sometimes you can find really good quality. So, and then the next question is how to make your room cute without a lot of money. This is the same thing. I feel like you can go thrifting a lot and you can find some things that are really, really cute and they're way cheaper. IKEA, if you have an IKEA close to you, they have actually a lot of options and they are pretty cute. My entire house is basically IKEA, and I just switched it up with like the knobs. I went and got a few different handles from Amazon that were also like cheap, and they were wood, and so I felt like it was almost like cute and different, and it definitely like elevated all my furniture to make it look more like expensive, even though it's like super cheap. And so I like IKEA. I also like thrifting. Target, there can be some really cute stuff that's cheap, and then there's also things that are really expensive. So that one's kind of hit or miss. Same thing with Walmart. Also, you don't need to like stress. Like I remember in high school and in middle school, I felt like I had to be the cutest thing in everything. Like I had to have the cutest clothes. I had to have the prettiest hair. I had to have all the cute room stuff. And I felt like there was so much pressure, and like there was no way that I could change my money status. All of this stuff was out of my control. Of like, I couldn't really control how cute my room was because I wasn't making all this money to like get a cute room. So you don't need to stress about, you don't have to have all the cutest stuff, and you don't need to like have all the brand names and everything else. I feel like as long as you like, this is a space that you feel comfortable in and that you feel happy in, that is like what you need. But if you want to find places that are like cheap to like, maybe if you want to like elevate your room a little more, those are some places I like to go to, and they're more affordable. So yes. Last question is, how do I say no in situations? When I was looking at this, I'm guessing it's more like either peer pressure, maybe some things like where you have to tell a boy no, or just like any kind of situation like that. I would recommend making the decision now, that like whatever you're gonna do. So like, I don't know what kind of situation exactly you're gonna be in, but for example, let's just say like you don't wanna do drugs. I would make that decision right now when you have like a clear headspace, so that when you get put into those situations where people are like, well, come on, just do it, everyone's doing it, I would like think back and be like, okay, I made this decision before and I'm not gonna break it. I made that promise to myself. I'm gonna keep that promise to myself. And so that was one thing that I always did, is I made those promises to myself before. And so when the time came where people would ask me to do those things, I already knew where I stood, and so I would just say no. And sometimes it can be awkward, and sometimes it can be kind of like uncomfortable. At least from my own experience, I never regretted saying no when I felt like those people were trying to put me in a situation where I felt uncomfortable. So if you ever like get put in that situation and you feel uncomfortable, if that's okay, because you don't need to do something that you don't want to do. So it's okay to say no, and I want you to know that like I'm there with you. If you say no, you got it. Like I want you to keep your promise to yourself. So yes, okay. So that is it, guys, on our big sis talk for right now. Thank you guys so much for asking these questions, and I hope this helped a little bit. And like I said earlier, make sure that you comment down below if you have any other tips or other suggestions, or just like other like feedback things that you want to talk about. Let's comment down below. And guys, thank you so much. Make sure that you subscribe down below and hit that notification bell and follow me on my social media. And yeah, I'm so excited. I love you guys all so much. Thanks for this big sis talk. Bye guys. Mwah.